Welcome to Two Local Radio. I'm your host, Ray Ray. And tonight we have Knoxville's Supreme Blues Band. If you haven't heard of them, I don't know where you've been hiding. This is the Juke Joint Drifters. Say hello, guys.
Hey, how you
What's
doing?
up, guys? Hey, man. How you doing?
Hey, everybody.
And, the first question I'm going to ask is a simple one that everybody who's never heard of you is going to want to know. Where the heck did you come up with that name?
It's Blake Campbell's going to answer that one.
Jeremy, you gonna take that?
Yeah, Blake Campbell came up with that off of a marquee on Bill Street in Memphis, Tennessee. He was had been out to Austin, Texas, on the way back, stopped at Memphis, and the Juke Joint sign on Bill Street, and that's where he got the name Juke Joint Drifters from. True, man.
Wow, and what does that name mean to you, other than, where it came from? When you think of your name and what your band means, what does it mean to you?
Just a collaboration of feelings and how you feel, and blues and rock and roll is what it is, Kind of a combination of everything, Just when you hear us live, you're going to hear every influence that every one of us has ever grew up with. It's on the Juke Joint, kind of where we started in the blues, but we drift all over the place. It's southern rock and funk and just a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay. So how did the band get established? Where did you all meet each other?
Mostly just playing around in bars in Knoxville, Tennessee, and just eventually through the circuit, we just, by fate, we met each other,
I think you have to give some credit to Rogers. That's where I met you guys. That's where I met Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like that's where Blake and I first played together, and when we just had decided to start doing a band, he had the idea for the Juke Joint Drifters, and then a mutual friend actually suggested that we meet up. Blake was looking for somebody to help start a band up, so we met up, and then a year or two later we crossed paths at the Rogers Blues Jam, and from there we started our own blues jam at another venue across town called Bullfeathers, and kind of started playing out some, and that's when Kevin and Andy, we had called in for meeting them at Rogers, and they come out and played, and it just kind of grew into that, and later on we met Johnny at the same place, and we kind of just grew into what we are now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what kind of? I understand that you are a blues band and whatnot, but what kind of songs do you mainly play? Are you more of Life's Going Down, or do your songs about women? Or for people that have never heard of you, and have never heard of the Juke Joint Drifters, which is really a tongue twister if you think about it. What kind of music would they expect?
And well, actually, the blues, we kind of started out as blues. It's turned into a lot more than that now. It's close to the more like southern rock, blues rock feel. But the songwriting, it just comes from life. You know what I mean? It's women, it's good times, it's bad times, it's living the core of life as far as friends and family and backwoods, hard work and tradition, just things like that. And Blake, he does most of the writing, and he's I guess he can answer where he pulls from himself, but just life in general, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So there's currently 5 members in the band, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And who do we have tonight? I know we got Jeremy Copeland, who's the vocalist.
Blake Campbell on guitar.
Yeah, and Johnny on the other guitar.
All right.
Kevin Redding, drummer.
All right, so we got 4 out of 5 tonight.
Yeah, today.
Yeah. I guess so.
And Andy's very shy.
Andy Lewis on bass. I don't know where he's at. I thought he was with us.
That's some other fun.
All right, so I'm looking here, and it said you were talking before how you all met and everything, and it says at the CRV experience at the Blues Jam in Knoxville. Is that correct?
Yes, that was a project that I had. It was a tribute to the late Stevie Ray Vaughan, and the band I was with. We done that for a couple of years, and then eventually I just kind of wanted to do my own thing, and this was kind of what it eventually was built into.
So why don't you tell the audience out here, what's it like? I mean, as far as like your fan base and the people that come to your show. I mean, what kind of fans normally would pop up to your show, and what kind of experiences do you like? As far as, are you more of, you like jamming in front of a few people, or like a place like a friend's house, or in front of a big coliseum? What really makes you get your adrenaline going and really just want to pump out for the crowd?
Well, that's just like that's just like Elvis Presley said, man. That Elvis always got nervous, and when he played in front of 5 people, and just like when you play in front of 5,000 people, it's just like your adrenaline's flowing, and you just do it, you just get it done, and thank the fans for coming out pretty much.
I think a lot of it too is you feed up the energy of the crowd, and if they're feeling what you're playing, and they're feeling the music and the lyrics you've written, and up and dancing and moving around, that does a lot for me, at least, as far as just feeling the energy off the room, whether it's...
And the crowd that comes out to see us is a crowd that likes to drink, raise hell, party, and have a great time.
There you go.
Exactly right. Sometimes we get a little too involved in that.
Yeah. There have been occasions.
But at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, going out and having fun. I mean, a lot of people, go for different reasons, but so you'd say your band's more of a feel good, you're down on your luck, come see us and come out and party like a rock star.
Pretty much. Yeah, we'll definitely
And we're all about having a good time.
Exactly.
So, why don't you tell everybody what is Say Yeah about, and how did that come about?
Man, well, I guess Say Yeah kind of come about. I went to Blake's house for a writing session when we started writing for the album, and he'd come up with that beginning intro and the beginning riff. He played it for me, and I sat down and just started scribbling some words, mainly just trying to come up with something. And I kind of pulled from experience I had a couple years ago with a friend. I went out to Nashville to see another band play by the name of Anthony Gomes, and just kind of wrote just real simple lyrics down, just something to try to come up with. They kind of stuck, and we ended up taking them back to the guys and showing them what we had, and built on top of it from there. Everybody kind of helped in the writing process, and we added part here, a piece here, and then when Johnny joined the band, he added his solo in, and he's definitely, his name's Johnny Monster, and you can definitely hear it when you hear him play. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that song, it's like very catchy, as well as, what's funny is a lot of bands, the vocals is catchy, but the music behind it just doesn't feel it. And that song that I heard, it just feels like it all comes together. You just know that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah,
I think one of the reasons for that you hear that, I think you'll hear that just about everything we do. And part of that's because of the creative process that we go through as a band. to come up with a completed product. It starts out typically with Jeremy and Blake or one or the other coming up with the basic idea, and we just all formulate it together from there as far as arranging, where we want to take it, how we want the song to start, what we want to do in the middle, how we want to end it. It's a total collaboration by everybody. And I think that that's one of the reasons that we're all committed, and you hear that in the type of music that comes out. Would you agree, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'd agree with that completely. It's everybody's got their input or say so, and we're just like a big family. We'll argue and bicker, and at the end of the day, man, when the music's done, we're usually real proud of it. We finished product usually comes out the way we like it. But
what was that comment you used to make, Blake?
Yeah.
Blake used to make that comment about, hey, if you're not arguing about it, probably because it's a pile of crap or something.
We'd watch a video of it, and I think it was Slash that said, if you're in a band and you're not arguing, you probably suck. If you all agree that if you all agree that it's the best that it's out there, it's probably not. So if you're not bickering and trying to make it better, then you probably don't have much to work with.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to say it. After he had to deal with Guns N' Roses, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a dysfunctional band. But, so how long you all, been together? We're looking at 2 years now?
Actually, with this lineup, right at a year.
Okay, a year. And what would you say so far is your biggest show you played?
We've had a couple. We had a real good crowd at Rogers one night. We played all over Knoxville. We played in Farley's. We played Rogers. We played Susan's Happy Hour. But I'd say probably one of the biggest crowds was probably the Mardi Gras party that we had back in February. But we actually recorded. We released the CD, recorded live at Rogers' place. And,
well, we're just now starting to get some bookings at some festivals and summer events that are going to be subject to a much larger crowd. So we have yet to go down that road.
Yeah, we're actually playing for the Popcorn Sutton Memorial Festival in July, and we're playing for another festival in Cott County in October. So we're just kind of starting to get the ball rolling, getting into some bigger venues, getting our name out there a little more. Like I said, we've only been together a year, so we just got back from Sun Studio in March in Memphis, where we had tracked Say Yeah and Dream With Me. So we're just real new as far as this project goes.
We're about to go right back in the studio.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be finishing up the album in July.
Nice. Well, I don't see y'all having a problem whatsoever. Y'all seem professionals and like you know what you're doing because y'all came from different bands, correct?
Yeah. Like Kevin, he's played for years. He's played for about anybody you can think of or around him or near him. Johnny just joined us from up in the New York area where he was fronting his own solo project. So we all come from different backgrounds, man, and that's what kind of makes it so cool. Is we all got our own strong influences, but we put it in the melting pot, man, and it just turns into the JJD.
That sounds like like Jack Daniels with an extra J.
Fast virus database has been updated.
It's right in with us, man.
All right. So they say that you can tell a lot about, an artist based on who their influences are. So who alive or dead, if you could play with, would you play with? Or perform with?
Oh, me? Like, if Stevie Ray Vaughan was alive right now, I'd be calling that dude up right now. Be going, hey, we need a jam, dude.
And what about the rest of the band?
I played with Ryan Cooter. If I could get with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting on stage with John Fogerty. I'm a big Fogerty fan of Chris Robinson, Black Crows. He's probably one of my favorite vocalists.
Yeah.
Raw
Great
emotion,
gig.
you know.
Great music. And you got the drama going on, too, there.
Yeah.
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah. That's kind of like Chris and Rich Robinson. That's a little bit like being Blake. We spend time to Spreaker on stage.
Only one way to get it done, man.
At the end of the day, we're right back in there doing what we do. So.
All right, so what would be a day off from music and, other jobs? Where could the fans see members of Juke Joint Drifters doing on a day off?
I'm on my Harley riding in the mountains myself.
Yeah, you killed us, Harley. You catch me cooking out on a restaurant in Kingston, Tennessee.
Yeah, I help run a concrete business, and we get to spray concrete all day. So
he's talking about a day off, guys.
Exactly.
That is a day off. A day off.
I think you just means a day off.
I'd be trying to catch Kevin on his bike.
Good luck.
You guys be over at Andy's house.
Exactly. Yeah, we'd be at Andy's house. What we'd be doing, eating breakfast and drinking Fireball. Writing songs.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny, though, in this shitty economy that on a day off you're actually working?
Yeah, that's how it goes normally.
24/7 job, man, pretty much.
The new culture.
Yeah, it's not a right culture, but it is what it is. So,
No doubt.
Really,
have a lot of money,
If you're trying to be a musician, you're working every day anyway. I mean, I even if I ain't working or gigging, I'm playing my guitar if I'm not hiking. You know what I mean? So, and if you're working as a musician, you're booking shows and getting radio stuff like this. So really, if you're a musician, you're always working. It just is the way it is, unless you got somebody to work for you, which then you get a day off.
yeah, but you all know how that goes. You get somebody to work for you, and then they fuck up, and then you gotta work twice as hard to fix it.
Yeah.
That's a true old adage if you want something done right.
So, coming from all these different bands and everything, could you see that the music has evolved as far as, now from when you started?
That's absolutely. The writing process itself is just, as we started doing it together, it was everybody had his little parts, and like Kevin said, a lot of the earlier stuff was Brian Blake's idea, or a lot of it was Blake's, only he'd done before we even really got started, but then we started writing stuff like Freedom Song and Live It Up. Everybody was just kind of pulling like Freedom Song. Andy had come up with just for an idea that he'd run across, and then Live It Up come from like just a real bit of a dream that he'd had. He woke up in the middle of the night and jotted a couple of things down, and it turned into a real cool song. But the music has definitely evolved into a completely different monster of its own. It's kind of hard to pin it to one genre. It's kind of floats, it just drifts all over the place. That's kind of why it sticks real well with our name.
Nice. So if you were not musicians, and I know you all have, other jobs, but if you could work any job that you wanted and you were not, a musician, or you just hung it up, what would you do?
DJ,
Probably sell ginseng.
I don't want to do something with music. If I couldn't be a musician, I'd want to get involved in music somehow. So I'd probably try to be a promoter or manage a band. I don't want to be involved in it somehow.
Yeah, some sort of entertainment business, acting or something.
I think I'd just stay home.
You and your dog.
Yeah,
you and your dog too.
Oh, okay, I have a question that you're never going to hear anywhere else. with the music industry being the way it is today, and artists getting screwed left and right on deals, would you say, as a band, and I know you all want to get, signed to a major label and everything, but would you say you would head down the independent route if you seen that you were going to get screwed and there's a possibility you could end up on the shelf?
I don't know. It's the music industry is a tough industry to be in, and as far as being on an independent label, I think you have a lot more freedom to do what you want to do, and as far as getting your name out there. But when you're it seems like with a major label, you're always spitting out songs that nobody likes, and everybody, you eventually get where you're playing the same stuff over and over, and that's what a label wants, is to make millions of dollars, but it's, as far as a band, you really don't want to lose the raw sound of the band, and I think by going commercial, you really lose a lot of that.
Or the actual emotional feeling of the music. For me, of course, I'd love to make it big, but I also there's a fine line of making it big and losing who you are as a musician and turning into a cookie cutter, them pop stuff you hear on the radio today that I personally just don't care for. I don't have any. It's got no soul. It's got no feeling, and that's kind of what Big Eddie's about. Is bringing back that era when music meant something, And so I would want to keep the music before I would take the thing, for me personally.
Well, in today's environment, what I'd prefer to do is be self-produced and then sign a distribution deal. The days of signing with a label and expecting gold and gilded lilies is long gone, and you have to make it pretty much on your own anymore. I'm a big fan of anyone that can do that.
Yeah, I don't know about do it yourself, but I mean, it'd be great to have music be my job. But honestly, I'm old school guy where I just started this to have fun. And honestly, one of the reasons I play with these guys is because I moved here a few months ago and I wanted to have some fun. That's the main reason I do it, and that's what will be the reason I do it. And the minute I stop having fun is when I will stop. So I don't think too much anymore about record labels or any of that. Distribution would be great, but, all that's such a long shot. You can waste a lot of good energy, wishing for it or whatever. Just be out there gigging. My favorite thing in the whole world to do is gig and to tour,
Well, Johnny, just to be a musician in today's world, there's got to be something wrong with you to start with. You got to be somewhat crazy on a certain level, because you're right. The odds are such a long shot of anything successful going along. The bottom line is you have to love it. Because if you don't love it, you don't have fun doing it, there's absolutely no motivation whatsoever to get involved in this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have a few nuts loose to begin with, as well as love it. There's a lot of crazy people out there, and you meet them playing music.
That's true.
But I don't know. I agree with what everybody said. I just, I think the main thing we all think is that it's just a lot of fun to start with. So that's, no matter what, that's why we're still all here doing it.
Yeah, we enjoy each other's company, but in the end, it's all about the fun we have making music together, really. So it's probably true for just about any band that's out there that isn't dealing with all the stress and drama of a big label situation.
All right, I'm going to flip the turn here, or the tide here, because I didn't want to go negative in any way, shape, or form. I just wanted, individuality, which you all showed, which is great. Let's say you get everything that you want. In 5 years, where could you see yourself?
On tour, maybe touring regionally, playing a couple levels of notches above where we're at now. This is hopefully playing the PG theaters and the Tennessee theaters of the country, and just maybe even a little smaller than that. You know, just playing some of the bigger music. Like Johnny said, you know, it's just having fun, still enjoying the music and enjoy sharing the music. Because like Johnny said, when that's gone, kind of lose it all when you quit enjoying it. If you can't enjoy your music, how can you expect anybody else to?
Yeah, for me, it's just a matter of if I could make a comfortable living playing music, not have to deal with the stress of a real job, yeah, I would be a very happy camper.
On this motorcycle.
On my motorcycle.
Up the mountains.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, I've got a question for you.
Who?
For who?
For the DJ. I've got a question for the DJ.
Oh, for Ray?
Yeah.
All right.
How many guitar players does it take to play a Stevie Ray Vaughan song?
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, how many guitar players does it take to play a Stevie Ray Vaughan song?
I would say at least 3.
No, apparently all of them.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he's just in a different world of his own. It's like, you know, how many, you know, does it take to play Randy Rhoads? I mean, you can go to, you know, Dimebag Darrell. You can go a lot of different ways. I mean, there's some that are very, very talented.
Oh, yeah. Dimebag and Randy was two of my favorites as I was growing up, you know.
I do know my stuff, believe it or not.
It was a shame that what happened to Dimebag. The music world really took a loss when they lost that guy.
You know, who's ever left. So, no, I know now in, you know, Knoxville and whatnot, there's a lot of club owners and everything. They ask, you know, bands to play covers because that's what people, you know. What would you say is the toughest cover you had to, you know, play, or have you been one of the lucky bands that get to play all your original music?
Well, we do mostly original, and what covers that we do are you know, really obsolete covers. So we don't really do a whole lot of what we call jukebox band stuff. We're trying to work a little bit of that in there because you're right that, you know, people want that. But this project, we kind of started out wanting to be original and do all original material, and that's kind of what we're trying to stick to. You know, we have added some stuff in. You know, like we worked up "Give Me Back My Bullets," you know, by Skinner, and but anytime you try to cover, you know, those classic guys like that, you know, it's you know, if you can't do them justice, you know, you might as well not try. This is kind of the way I look at it, you know. And, you know, but we want to be an original band. We don't want to be a jukebox band.
Well, there you have it. They want to stay original. So what would you say so far is your favorite original song that you each have, and why?
I guess
Go ahead,
Jeremy.
Go
ahead, John.
I guess probably Living Up is probably the best one. I think it's the most unique, and it's kind of the first and only one that's based off of the riff I had, you know, as a new member in the group, you know, so it's kind of a little bit more part of me than the other songs are.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my top ones. I'd probably be torn between "Say Yeah" and "Freedom Song." You know, "Say Yeah," I guess I've always just loved the feel of it, and "Freedom Song," I just kind of love the meaning of it. You know, it's just, you know, about, you know, just being free and you know, starting over and moving forward, and, you know, standing up for what's right type of thing, and just, you know, getting out and about riding a Harley and hitting the road, and, you know, just going skyward bound, just heading on out down the road. So torn between those two. I don't know about Blake. What do you think, Blake? That may be who we lost.
Lost Blake?
That's the lost Blake, yeah.
All right, I'm only hearing y'all two talk. I know there's.
Well, there's a third one here. I'm just listening.
Kevin, you're pulling the Johnny card, brother.
Johnny's usually the quiet one, man.
Yeah, I'm always telling Johnny to shut the hell up. He never says nothing about nothing.
Well, I hope he left due to technical issues and he wasn't bored.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he. I actually think he's at a gig in town. He was playing in, so he was probably at the park lot. His phone could have died.
It's understandable. So, this is something I ask everybody. Now, anybody that's, trying to get into the music business and, start a blues band, what advice would you give them about how hard things is and, to keep their head up? Because it's not easy to play in front of people, and it's not easy to deal with people, especially some drunks that are, very belligerent.
You have to have a thick skin. You have to have a lot of confidence in yourself. And you actually do have to have an ego to be able to get up on stage and do this to start with. There's varying degrees of that, of course. But all the components have to be there. And after that, it's just a matter of you got to love it. You got to feel it in your heart. Because there's not a whole lot else out there to keep you motivated except for yourself and your own drive. That would be what I'd say.
I'm with you, Kevin. Don't look the crazies in the eyes, though.
Don't make eye contact from the stage, man.
That's funny, Jeremy.
So what is your favorite part of being a musician?
Applause. That's my favorite part. When you know you've executed what you went up there to do, and it's truly appreciated by the audience, and they let you know that, there's no better feeling on earth to me.
Yeah. I like when you do those small super gigs that nobody comes out to, but then you meet that one person that you connect with. The one guy that sat at the end of the bar and just sat there and enjoyed it. It's a shame that the place wasn't packed, but, like the saying is if you reach one person, you're doing all right. And if the one person in the bar really genuinely enjoyed it enough to at least come up and say hello, that's huge. I've done a lot of shows with only one dude.
I think we could all say that, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, that's just how life is sometimes. Sometimes it throws you lemons and you have to make lemonade, or I like to say apple cider.
Right.
Got to think outside the box sometimes. So, has there been a time where, somebody came up and, been like, okay, that song really touched my heart or was inspirational to me?
Yeah, we've had people come up and relate to songs, and there's a girl that shows up one of the venues all the time that really likes the "How Do I Say I Love You" tune that we do, and it's like I said, we're so new, we're just now getting it out there. We're definitely starting to build a little bit of a following as far as people relating to it and recognizing the songs by name and knowing some of the words and stuff.
We expect that portion of things to continue to grow as the band's exposure does.
Right.
All right. So, as a band, times are, tough. Can you relate to a time where, the crowd just wasn't feeling it, and you just, turned even one head around, and, it just felt so good, and, what's an experience like that like? Whether it's in this band or any of the bands before.
What, to turn one head if nobody's paying attention? Is that what you mean?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a bittersweet feeling, you kind of, if there is a lot of people that are not paying attention, you kind of wish they all were. But I mean, like I was saying, you reach that one person that at the end of the night, that's huge. While you're playing, it's kind of hard to deal with. You just kind of have to push through it and play your heart out. But I mean, I've had a lot of experiences. I played at a pizza place where everybody watched TV, and then some guy came up and shook my hand. And said, "You really touched me." That's great. And that makes the night. That makes the night. It makes the fact that you just, you're in the hole for gas, and that nobody paid attention. Because you touch somebody's heart with something that you created, which is a really powerful, hard thing to do. Sometimes not everybody has the ability to do that.
That's very touching the way you said that. Is there anyone that'd like to add anything to that?
No, I agree with that. I mean, we've played before, and it feels like nobody's paying attention. And I can remember we played right before Johnny had joined the band, and we played, and it didn't seem like no matter what we played, we wasn't getting a whole lot of crowd response. But at the end of the night, we still had a lot of people come up and tell us that they enjoyed it, and things like that. So sometimes you're paying attention and you don't know it.
Well, yeah.
When you really reach someone that really was connected with one of your songs, so that's a completely different feeling all in itself.
People are kind of different in an audience today. Sometimes you really can't read them because you'll play like the whole night and think that you're just not reaching anybody, and at the end of the night, you got several people or the owner of the club or whatever will come up and say, "Man, everyone loves it, thinks you guys are great, blah, 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 blah," and you're like, "What? Where'd that come from?"
Right.
So sometimes it's a pleasant surprise. Yeah.
Well, you have to keep in mind in this day and age of the, internet, the tablets, the, texting on the phones, everything else, people are doing like 500 million things at once.
Yeah.
We all lead complicated lives anymore. There's no simple route anymore unless you're born into it.
Well, there you go. So do you all have any last-minute words? And before that, how can people get in touch with your music? That's the main reason why you're here, so people can find out who you are.
Right. Yeah, they can look us up on Facebook. Of course, Facebook. We just search for the Juke Joint Drifters. Best way just to go straight to our website, jukejointdrifters.com. They can buy CDs, they can buy T-shirts, bump stickers. There's a schedule on there throughout the rest of the year. We've got close to 20 shows booked from now to December, and jukejointdrifters.com can tell them anything they need to know about us.
Band bio.
Yep, band bio.
Good information. And as far as last words, I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in tonight and listened to us, and I hope you enjoyed what you heard, and please come out and see us if you're in the area. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said, Kevin.
Yeah, good job, Kevin.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Way to be there, buddy.
Hey, someone had to do it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I've enjoyed you all, on here. Unfortunately, I'm bad with names sometimes, but JJD or the Juke Joint Drifters, that tongue twister again. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to later in the year y'all coming back and touching base and see how much you've grown, as a band, and the crowd's reactions and everything.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We would love to come back, and we certainly enjoyed this time with you tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on 2 Local Radio. You all have a wonderful evening.